Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. Today we are going to do the question and answers of ICAI in relation to CA Interlaw chapter Preliminaries. Okay, now let's start with it. Now, in this case, there are questions that ICAI has asked and good questions which are very, technically sound in terms of testing the students regarding the proper provisions. So let's look at it one by one. Teresa Limited is a company registered in New York, USA. The company has no place of business in India, no place of business established in India, but it is doing online business through data interchange. That is what they have mentioned here. Explain with reference to the provisions of the Companies Act 2013 whether Teresa Limited will be treated as a foreign company. November 2018, 6 marks. Just keep in mind this word, which is data interchange. Okay, just keep this in mind. I'll tell you the answer to this question. Wait for it. Second question also similar. Harry Limited is a company registered in Thailand. It has no place of business established in India. Yet it is doing online business through telemarketing in India, having its main server for online business outside India. The main server is outside India. State the status of the company under the provisions of the Companies Act 2013. Okay. Now, this question has come for 2 marks, but both the questions are very, very similar. This question was asked for 6 marks, this question for 2 marks. Okay. Why I'm doing these two questions together is now you'll understand. Whenever 2 mark question comes, no, you have the liberty to directly come to the point. So you can directly say here that in the rules of the company specification or definition details rules 2014, the term electronic mode has been defined. They have clearly mentioned here whether main server is installed in India or not, including but not limited to, and then they are given the business matters which are there. In the first question, the business matter dealt with this, that is data interchange. In the second question, it dealt with telemarketing. Telemarketing, correct? In the exam, the question can come in your exam in relation to business to business, business to consumer transactions. It can be in relation to acceptance of deposits or inviting deposits. It can be in relation to financial settlement, web based marketing, advisory transactional services, database services, products and supply chain management, telecommuting, telemedicine, education and information research. Then you have communication services, whether conducted by email, mobile services, mobile devices, social media, cloud computing, and other things that they have given here. So what I'm trying to say is, see, any part of this question can be picked up and they can just fit it here. In place of the telemarketing, they'll simply put advisory and transactional services. And then you will have to then deal with the question. So all the students have to first note one thing, that whenever the question is for 2 marks or something, you can directly come to the point. You have to just give a reference to this rule and say that, see, the word telemarketing is covered in the definition. You can simply come to the point because it is only for 2 marks. However, when it is asked for 6 marks, you are expected to write this entire thing because the weightage is for that part. So be prepared for both. So in both the cases, as I hope you understand that you have to learn this to ensure that you are writing the correct area in the examination. Easy to understand. Okay. Now let's move ahead with the next part. Okay. So the main point is whether, so is it what do you call? Is it a foreign company? Basically, the answer is yes. It is foreign company. So when a company incorporated outside India, having a place of business in India, either by itself or agent or physically or in electronic mode, then and it should conduct business activity in India. So is it electronic mode they are defined here, and it includes all these areas which are there. All these areas are covered in electronic mode. Okay, so are these companies foreign companies? The answer is yes. So Harry Limited, in this question also Teresa Limited, both are foreign companies. Okay, come to the next point. Next question. The statutory auditors of a company were required to issue a certificate on the net worth of the company as per the requirement of the management as of 30th September 2021, computed as per the provisions of Section 2, Clause 57 of the Companies Act 2013. The company had fair valued its property, plant, equipment in the current year, which was mistakenly taken into retained earnings of the company in its books of accounts. Please advise whether the fair evaluation would be covered in the net worth of the company as per the legal requirements. That is what they've given here. Now understand, see. 2 clause 57 defines net worth. Okay. Now, how do you remember this in the most simplest way? Remember a simple code called PAS DAM The area which I'm showing in red, it will always be positive. You will always add it. Okay. So that is your paid up capital. You will always add. A is all reserves created out of profits. S is securities premium account. Okay. Remember this one. From D, you have something called as deferred expenditure. A is accumulated losses and M is miscellaneous expenditure. These three, which are in green, you will subtract. So these have to be subtracted while computing the net worth. The last P can be positive or negative. So if the profit is there, then you will add it. But however, if the company has negative profit, at debit balance of the profit and loss account, then you will subtract it. Whatever is the total will be the company's net worth. So this will be the company's net worth. So remember patch dam P. Okay. Now remember one thing. See, whenever net worth is there, no, whenever net worth is there, it has to be a real money that the company has earned. Okay. Any random revaluation of assets if we do, and if we have what you call the revaluation reserve with us, or if we value our property, plant, equipment, any kind of assets, and whatever is the gain from that valuation, even though the value is done on the basis of fair value method, but still that appreciation we cannot count it as you cannot add it to the net worth. Okay, it is not allowed. Here they have said the company had fair valued its property, plant, equipment in the current year, which was mistakenly taken to retained earnings in its books of accounts. Please advise whether fair valuation would be covered in the net worth. Fair valuation, even though it is valuation has been done fairly or whatever it is, still any appreciation or depreciation will not be part of the net worth. Okay, that you should remember always. Easy. That is what the answer will be in this case. Next one. X Industries Limited is a company in which 25% shareholding is held by central government, 10% of the shareholding is held by government of Maharashtra, and 15% shareholding is held by held by central government and the government of Rajasthan jointly. Okay, like that they have given. Now 25 plus 10 plus 15, if you do the calculation, it will come to exactly 50%. Okay. They have asked whether X Industries Limited is a government company. As per 2 clause 45 of the Companies Act 2013, they have clearly said if there is a company in which the government holds at least 51%, either by the central government, it is government holds means it is held either by the central government or partly by the central government, partly by one or more of the state governments, or by the state government or governments entirely if it is held, and it includes a subsidiary of a government company. But there the percentage that they are given is not less than 51%. It means at least 51% should be held. In this case, when we do the addition, it comes to 50%. That is why X Industries Limited is not a government company. Easy? Okay. Next one. Flora Fauna Limited was registered as a public company. There are 230 members in the company as noted below. Directors and their relatives, they are given 50. Employees, they are given 15. Ex-employees shares were allotted when they were employees, 10 are there. 5 couples holding shares jointly in the name of husband and wife. So 5 into 2, they are given 10. And others, they are given 145. The board of directors of the company proposed to convert it into a private company. Also advised whether reduction in the number of members is necessary. That is what they've said. Now, first of all, for private company, the company is a public company currently. They are going to convert into a private company. For private company, under section 2 clause 68, where private company is defined, they have said that the number of members in the private company can be minimum 2 up to maximum of 200. Up to maximum of 200. Now, in the counting of 200, you will always exclude employees who are currently the members and ex-employees who are currently the members. So both these category of employees should be excluded in the counting of the members. They are members, but they are not taken in the counting of 200. Okay. So directors and their relatives will be included. The answer is yes. 5 couples holding shares jointly, and you can see them as 10 here, but you will take them as 5 only. So here you will take 50. Here you will take it as 5 because they are jointly holding it. Okay. And others are 145. So you will add 145. Now total, if you see, the total comes to exactly 200, which is satisfying the limit. Exactly it is satisfying the limit because maximum we can have how much? 200. So they have asked advice whether reduction in the number of members is necessary. The answer is no. There is no reduction required. There is no reduction required. Easy. Okay. Next one. A Private Limited is wholly owned subsidiary of AB Limited, a public company incorporated under the Companies Act 2013. A Private Limited wanted to avail exemptions as provided to private companies Examine whether A Private Limited can do so. Okay, now understand. See, the companies that clearly says that if there is a public company and if it is a holding company of any private company, so A Private Limited is the private company here. In this case, even though this A Private Limited is a private company as per its articles, still in the eyes of the company law, in the eyes of the law, it will be treated as if it is a public company. So it will be treated as if it is a public company under section 2 clause 71, public company. So you will always treat this A Private Limited as a public company, even though in its articles it is a private company. That is what the law says. Okay. The common reason can be because it is getting the support of a public company. Okay, of a company which is not a private company, which is a public company. So A Private Limited is a private company, and it is the holding company of this company is a company which is not a private company. So in this case, you can see it's a public company. That is AB Limited is a public company. Easy, simple. How do you know it's a public company? First of all, they're given here. Even though if they would have not given, remember in the name, private word is not there. So even though they would have not given public company, you will understand that limited means it's a public company. Simple. Examine the below mentioned situation and answer whether the entities are related parties for the purpose of section 188. Okay. Now, related parties which are there under section 188 of the Companies Act, but related parties are mainly defined in section 2 clause 76 of the Companies Act. Okay. And in that, this question deals with specifically a clause called clause number 8. Okay. Now, understand this very carefully. See, XYZ Private Limited has two subsidiary companies, Y Private Limited and Z Private Limited. Okay. So, see, in 2 clause 76, subclause 8, it is clearly written that if there is a company, in this case, we'll take Y Private Limited as an example. So, there is a company called Y Private Limited. If the holding company of Y Private Limited, in this case, it is XYZ Private Limited. If the holding company has one more subsidiary, then normally these companies will be related parties. So in this case, these two companies will be related parties because they have a common holding company. Okay. However, this clause is not applicable. This subclause is this clause, subclause number 8. It is not applicable in relation to private companies. Okay. So normally, if they would have been public companies, it would have been applicable. But in this case, because these two are private companies, that is why they are saying that because these two are private companies, this clause will not be applicable. This subclause 8 will not be applicable, and hence these two companies will not be private companies. Will not be related parties. Will not be related parties. Will not be related parties. Okay, I hope it is clear. Let's look at the second example. Here they have said it is XYZ Limited. Again, as I told you, they even if they don't give these words, a public company, you will understand that in the name the word private is missing. So it will be a public company only. Okay. So XYZ Limited, in this case, they are given the same thing, two subsidiary companies. That is the same example they have given, Y Private Limited, and here they have given Z Private Limited. Now, in this case, we have to take the example that we just did here. If there is a public company which is a holding company and there's a private company which is its subsidiary, this private company will be treated as if it is a public company, even though in the articles it is a private company. So in this case, you can see Y Private Limited and Z Private Limited both will be treated as if they are public companies. Now, if they are public companies, then they have a common holding company. So these two companies will become related parties. These two companies will become related parties. Easy, simple to understand. Okay. Next one. MNP Private Limited is a company registered under the Companies Act 2013 with a paid up share capital of 1.8 crores. Okay, so paid up capital is 1.8 crores. Fine. And the turnover of the company is 22 crores. Explain the meaning of the word small company in accordance with the Companies Act. Whether MNP Private Limited can avail the status of a small company. Second, what will be your answer if the turnover of the company is 18 crores? So let's understand. Small company is defined in section 2 clause 85 of the Companies Act. Okay. Now here they say that two conditions have to be fulfilled. Okay, what are the two conditions? Very simple. The paid up capital should be up to 2 crores and the turnover of the company and the turnover of the company should be up to 20 crores, not more than that, up to 20 crores. These two conditions have to be satisfied. Both the conditions have to be satisfied because of the word and. Only when both the conditions are satisfied, we will call this company as a small company. Now, in the first example, let's see. In the first example, they have said the paid capital is 1.8 crores. So this is getting satisfied. The second, they have said it is 22 crores. Now you will see here 22 crores is exceeding 20 crores. That is why this, in the first example, it will not be a small company. So in this case, it will not be a small company. It cannot avail the status. However, in the second example, they have said here, see, second example, if the paid capital is 1.8 crores, turnover is 18 crores. So in this case, because both the conditions are getting satisfied, then in this case, it will be a small company. So in this case, it can avail the status of a small company. Easy. Okay. Next one. The information extracted from the audited financial statements of Smart Solutions Private Limited as at 31st March 2021 is given below. Okay, so they have given it below. Let's see this. Paid up share capital of the company is 50 lakh shares divided into 50 lakhs. Okay, divided into 5 lakh equity shares carrying voting rights multiplied by 10 each. Okay, so 5 lakh equity shares are there. There is no change in the paid up share capital thereafter. So at the time of incorporation, whatever was the paid up capital, that is the paid up capital. Also remember, this is a private company here. The turnover of the company is 2 crore rupees. So they have given both the things. The paid up capital is 50 lakhs. Turnover is 2 crores. Okay. This is in case of SSPL. So I'm going to write SSPL. Okay. I'm writing here SSPL. And they are given the status here. Okay. Next, it is further understood that Nice Software Limited, that is NSL, which is a public limited company, is holding 2 lakh equity shares fully paid up of Smart Solutions Private Limited. Okay. So in Smart Solutions Private Limited, 2 lakh divided by 5 lakhs will give you 40%. I'm just going to write here 40%. Okay, 40%. And it is held by who? It is held by Nice Software Limited. So NSL is holding 40%. Okay. Smart Solutions Private Limited has filed its financial statements for the said year with a registrar of companies, excluding the cash flow statement within the prescribed timeline during the financial year 2021-22. That is what they have said. Okay. So they have not filed the cash flow statements. Remember, dormant company, one person company, small company are not required to file cash flow statements. Okay. No, dormant company, one person company, small company. This question doesn't seem to be of dormant company nor one person company. It seems to be of small company in this case. Okay. Now let's see further. The ROC has issued a notice to Smart Solutions Private Limited as it has failed to file cash flow statements along with the balance sheet and profit and loss account. You are required to advise on the following points explaining the provisions of the Companies Act 2013. Whether Smart Solutions Private Limited shall be deemed to be small company whose significant equity shares are held by a public company. Let's understand. Which companies are not private companies, are not small companies? Okay. Any company which is a holding company of some other company is not a small company. Any company which is a subsidiary of any company which has a subsidiary company cannot be treated as a small company because it is a holding company of any company. Okay. So any company which is a holding company or any company which is a subsidiary company, you can take it as that way. These two companies are not small companies. Further, they have said Section 8 companies are not small companies, and further they have said any company which is incorporated under any special act, it is not a small company. Okay. In this case, you can see here SSPL is an associate of NSL, but not a subsidiary. It is not a subsidiary. And then further, when we think about SSPL, two conditions have to be satisfied that we saw just earlier. That is, the paid up capital should be up to 2 crores and turnover should be up to 20 crores. In this case, you can see the paid up capital is 50 lakhs and turnover is 2 crores. Okay. So it is well within the limit. There is no problem here. It is well within the limit. Paid up capital is 50 lakhs. It can be up to 2 crores. Turnover is 2 crores. It can be up to 20 crores. Okay. So in this case, we can say that yes, SSPL is a small company. There is no problem in this. Okay. There is no problem in this. It is a small company. No problem. Okay. Further, they have said here, see this. whether Smart Solutions Private Limited has defaulted in filing its financial statements. Now let's understand this part. See, they have said here that because it has excluded from giving cash flow statements. Okay. So first of all, is it a small company? The answer is yes. It is a small company. Okay, that we just proved. Small companies are not. It is okay for them for if they don't give the cash flow statements. They are not required to give. So cash flow statements, if they don't give it, is fine. So has it defaulted? The answer is no. So we'll say that there is no default on part of SSPL in terms of filing the financial statement. There is no default because it is a small company. Easy to understand, simple to understand. Okay. So it's a very nice question. So if such questions come, ensure that you're writing it properly. New Private Limited is a company registered under the Companies Act 2013 with a paid up share capital of 70 lakhs and turnover of 30 crores. Okay. Explain the meaning of the term small company and examine the following in accordance with the provisions of the Companies Act 2013. That is what they have asked. So first, again, similar question: New Private Limited can avail whether it can avail the status of a small company. That is the first part. What will be your answer if the turnover of the company is 15 crores and the capital is 70 lakhs? That is what they've said. Let's analyze. Okay. First of all, they have said the paid capital is, so the condition that we need to satisfy is paid capital should be 2 crores, up to 2 crores. So I'll just write the word up to here. And turnover up to 20 crores maximum it can be. Okay, that is the main condition. Now, in the first part of the question, they have said that the paid up share capital is how much? 70 lakhs. So is it satisfying? Yes. Second, they have said the turnover is 30 crores. So is it satisfying? The answer is no. Both the conditions have to be satisfied. So in this case, we can say that is it a small company? The answer is no. So we'll say a small company. It is not a small company in this case. Easy to understand. Next one they have said here in the second example they have said what would be your answer if the turnover is just 15 crores and the capital is 70 lakhs. Okay. In this case you will see your 70 lakh condition is also satisfied. 15 crores is comes under the category of up to 20 crores. Is it getting satisfied? The answer is yes. So in this case, is it a small company? The answer is yes. So it is a small company. It is a small company. Easy, simple to understand. Okay, very easy. Next one. The paid up share capital of Saras Private Limited is 1 crore, consisting of 8 lakh equity shares of rupees 10 each, fully paid up, and 2 lakh cumulative preference shares of 10 each. Okay, fully paid up. G1 Private Limited, that is JVN, they have said, and we'll also use the same short form JVN, and Saras Private Limited will use it as SPL. Okay, JVN Private Limited and G1 Private Limited and Sudhir Private Limited. Okay, no, Sudhir Private Limited are holding 3 lakh equity shares and 50,000 equity shares respectively in Saras Private Limited. That is what they have said. So let's draw a simple diagram. You have Saras Private Limited, which is having the a total of 8 lakh equity shares. 8 lakh equity shares. Okay, just a second. 8 lakh equity shares. Okay. Further, they have said JVN is holding 3 lakh equity shares, and you have Sudhir Private Limited. So I'm going to write SUPL. Sudhir Private Limited is holding 50,000 equity shares. Okay. Further, they have said Jeevan Private Limited and Sudhir Private Limited are subsidiaries of Piyush Private Limited. So there is another company called Piyush Private Limited, which is the main holding company of these two, JVN and SUPL. Okay. SUPL is Sudhir Private Limited, this company. Then they have said, with reference to the provisions of the Companies Act 2013, examine whether Saras Private Limited is a subsidiary of Piyush Private Limited. Now let's analyze this thing. See, we have to enter into section 2 clause 87 of the Companies Act. Now what does 2 clause 87 say? 2 clause 87 says a company can be a subsidiary company of any other company if that other company is controlling the composition of the board of directors or controls one half of the total voting power either by itself or through one or more of its subsidiary companies. In this case, there is nothing currently given. Till now, there is nothing given in relation to controlling the composition of the board of directors. There is nothing given. However, they have clearly given something in relation to that, sir, SPL Limited, there are 3 lakh shareholders there are 3 lakh shares which are held by JVN Limited and 50 lakh shares being held by SUPL. We have said that if more than one half of the total voting power, more than one half means more than 50% should be held by the holding company. In this case, you will see the total is 8 lakhs here, and 3.5 lakhs divided by 8 lakhs will not be 50 more than 50%. So in this case, you will say that see, even though PPL is holding is the holding company of JVN and SUPL, still SPL is not a subsidiary company of PPL. That is when you read the question till here. That is when you read the question till here. Simple. So the first part of the question is that it is not a subsidiary because it is not controlling one half of more than one half of the total voting power of this company either by itself or through one or more of its subsidiaries. So PPL is not holding more than one half of the total voting power. Easy. However, further they have said, what would be your answer? What would be your answer if Piyush Private Limited has 8 out of 9 directors on the board of Saras Private Limited? So Piyush Private Limited is having 8 out of 9. So this is 8 out of 9. And total number of directors in Saras Private Limited are 9. 8 are coming from Piyush Private Limited. So one part of this section 2 clause 87 also said, which I told you for the first part, that is controlling the composition of board of directors. So is PPL controlling the composition of board of directors? The answer is yes in this case. Because PPL is holding controlling the composition of board of directors, they have said here that see, as per the second part of the question, which I marked in purple, will SPL, that is Saras Private Limited, be a subsidiary of Hughes Private Limited? The answer will become yes. So the first part of the question, it is first part of the question, and this is the second part. First part, SPL is not a subsidiary of PPL. As per the second part, SPL is a subsidiary of PPL because it is controlling the composition of the board of directors. Simple, easy question. Okay. That's it. Okay. I hope you are enjoying this session and I hope it is helping you for your examination preparation. So ensure that you are liking this video, sharing amongst your group of friends who are studying with you in CA Inter. Also, if you need any kind of help and any other kind of videos that you want me to make, please write it in the comment section below. Okay. I wish you all the very best. Take care. See you. Bye.